तमाम साथियों को तमाम साथियों को या अली मदद, and thank you for joining us today. This will be our session 5th on the concept of Imam in the Quran, the recognition of Imam. Today we will start with the Pak and Pakistan name of the Imam Zaman, Shah Rahim al-Husseini, Hazir Imam, Ya Mulai Mirban, Tawfiq, Tahid, Himmat wa Yari Mola. Tawfiq, Tahid, Himmat wa Yari Mola. Ya Mulai Mirban, Madad Farma, Madad Farma. What proof can we give? And people do as this all the time. Not that we are worried about it, but as a humanity, as a curious human, something that comes in mind, and I receive this question, if not every week, at least 2-3 times a month. How would other know about the Imam or need of the Imam? A great question, and I do not mind answering it again and again. Was there ever a time on any religion, and this is how you answer, was there any time in your religion or any religion in the world? When I say religion, meaning people who believe in something, someone, then Christians would say, yes, we had a great Lord Jesus. Jewish would say we had a great Lord Moses. And people before that, they will say we had the Ibrahim, Isaac, Ismail, and they may even go all the way to Yaqub and Yusuf. And then you go even further back. If you ask Buddhists, you ask Hindus, all will have a name to give you. Then the answer to their question would be, and your question more likely, because they are not asking this question, it is you asking this question on their behalf. How would they know? Was there ever a need? And did you ever have a living personality to guide you? For example, Ram and Krishna. Buddhists will say Buddha. Abrahamic tradition followers would say Abraham and his progeny. That shows that we ourselves as a religion have always followed one or the other. If there was never a need for a living guide, then God would not have sent anyone after Adam. Adam would be the first and the last and the only one. This is not God's habit, and this is not how humans are guided. God has promised to guide the human, and human always need someone to guide. All right, so let's move forward into the Islam. What was said about Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam? We don't need you. We have our guide, our book. Have said we have Musa and Bible. Other have said we have Musa and Torah. And other did not care. And by saying that, they stopped themselves on a path on Sirat al-Mustaqim. They were on Sirat al-Mustaqim at the one time or the other, following the guide of their respected time. If they have never followed anyone, then this argument would be okay and logical that we don't need anyone. We ourselves have intellect enough, free will enough, understanding of God's creation enough to guide ourselves. But that would be against the natural order of Allah, Sunnatullah, and natural order of the human. As the Fitratullah sits on human nature, and human nature is that they need a guide. A child needs parents. As we grow, we need a teacher to guide us. And then if we go into a skilled worker, we need a guide to guide us, even on the job. We need doctors to guide us for our health. Regardless of where you go, even if you get in a plane, you can see we need a guide to guide us into the plane. Again and again, we come to this conclusion, a natural conclusion and result, that human need a guide to find things. To find things in the Zahir. Then what about the Batin? How do we find our way into the Batin which we cannot see yet? We cannot understand yet. Do we not need someone to guide us? How would we ever understand Hudud Deen as Aql Kul and Nafs Kul? How would we ever understand Arsh and Arsh-e-Ala, Noor, and the guarded tablet, pen and Gore Akal, How would we ever understand any of that? Because those are not the things that eventually we will bump into it, even if we did not have a guide. On and on and on, Allah has sent a living guide. And the hukum, the command is always put your trust in the one who is living, ever living, and the one who never dies. Put your trust in him, not in something that you cannot see. Because if you cannot see, how will you be guided? Unless somebody is claiming to be prophet or Imam himself, Nauzubillah. Then, yes, you can be guided directly as you are who you are claiming to be. But God forbid, we are not claiming that. We are Garib and Nachiz, poor and needy human. Our akal is called akle garizi, needy intellect. Our soul is called ruh sifli, lower eye. Human, nothing but the dust. And the dust is on the bottom of the food chain. Dust, then vegetation, and then animal, and then human. And human are made of rational soul. And if we do use our rational, if we are calling ourselves a human, then rationality tells us that as we need parents to guide us, teachers to guide us, other to guide us, then we need a guide who would guide us on the spiritual path, on the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Mullah Ali says, I am that guarded tablet, that book which no one can touch. What book is that? Let's say we say this is a book of Quran. But then you can see, and you can see behind me, there are a few different sets of Quran. I can touch it. They are not so guarded. But he's talking about the Ta'wil and the Nur and the Hikmat within their Quran is guarded. And if you like to come into the Quran, which is guarded by the Nur-e Khudawandi, Ali-e Murtaza, then you must come through his door, as he is the door to the city of knowledge, the Quran, and he is the door, a gate to the house of wisdom, the Ta'wil of the Quran. Then you must come through the door. And where do you have that door? Where is that door? Did you lose that door somewhere? One time or the other? Because at one time you did believe in the door. You did believe in the guide. You did believe in the rope. Where is it? How come you don't have a door today? And those who do have the rope and the guide and the door, if they choose to leave him or do not recognize him, or saying that I am myself sufficient enough, then what he is saying, that Allah, his Rasul, and ulil amra minkum, those amongst you, are not sufficient enough. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. He is the sufficient one. And who is this sufficient one? The one who is claiming to be guarded tablet, and the one who's claiming to be the wise Qur'an, the speaking Qur'an, the Noor-e Ilahi, the direct progeny of the Muhammad and Ali. No one else is claiming that. And no one is challenging the claimer. If you don't think he is the Ali Nabi Aulad-e Ali, the Ali Murtaza, the Noor-e Khudawandi, then how come there is no one challenging him? That is the understanding of Nur Allah, Nur, Imam-i Zaman. And we must put our trust by the command of Allah in the Quran on the living Imam. We talked about Atiullah wa Atiur Rasul. And then those who do not follow the command of the Rasul is like not following the command of Allah. The Hadith Nabawi says what? Ali is my legatee, my wazir, my heir, and wali, my friend. Whomever I am wali, Mola, he is the wali and Mola to them. So when we say Ali or Ali Zaman is not my Mola, instantly you deny the Prophet, the Rasul Khuda, and his mastership. And in return, you have denied the existence of Allah. Because itaat, submission, following is on stages. So one who do not believe in Allah, then you don't have to believe in Rasul, and of course you don't have to believe in Imam. But when we do believe in Imam and his Faramin and follow him, then you are by default following the Prophet of Allah and prophets of Allah, not only one, but every prophet and every book of Allah. And in return, you are following and obeying the command of Allah Himself. Indeed, Mullah Ali was given the ownership or the order, the command of inheritance of the Quran. That Quran is with Ali and Ali is with the Quran, and they will remain together. Now this is the important part. Remain together until the day of Qiyamah. Then where is that Ali? Because we do see the Quran. Where is that Ali? Ali is with the Quran and Quran is with the Ali. Where is that Quran and where is that Ali? Imam Shanasi, even though look hard, but it's not that hard if we just logically and historically see how the system of guidance is laid from the day one, from the time of Adam. Always a living human, a living personality with the command of Allah, with the soul, the ruh of Allah, with the nur and the amr of Allah has guided the human. And human have never left without the guidance and without the book. Then we have given the inheritance of the book to such of our servant whom we have chosen. They are selected, as we talked about in our previous session last Saturday, Surah 3, Ayat 33, that we have chosen and selected amongst the human Adam, Noah, Ibrahim and his progeny, Imran and his progeny, and this is not a static one-time event, but the event of the lifetime of the humanity. If there are human, there is amongst them a guide. So has Allah fulfilled his promise to the people? Another thing, when we deny the Imam, the guide, the Nur, what we are denying is the promise of Allah. God forbid we are saying Allah did not fulfill his promise. And what is the promise of Allah? I will guide the human. I will protect my Nur and I will complete my Nur. All of you, or most of you know, there is a one surah in the Quran out of 114 that does not have a door on top of it. So what is the door of the surah? We already talked about the door. Let's find and understand what are the doors and a door to the Quran. al-Kitāba, Surah Al-Ham, Sūrah Fāṭir is the door to the Quran. And Bismillah is the door to each surah. And door to Bismillah is the bar in front of it. and door to the ba. Ba itself is a door, and the key to the door is a dot, and Mullah Ali is the dot. No one can enter into the Quran without the door and without the key. And Ali is the key and Ali is the door. So those who enter into the Quran without the Ali, Imam-i Zaman. And what do you call those who comes into a house or enter into a home? Leaving the door, without the door, what do you call them? In simple language, we call them thief. We call them thief. So when you come into the Quran, without the Ali, without the door, and we already established that he is the door to the city of knowledge, the Tanzil of the Quran, and he is the gate to the house of wisdom, the Ta'wil of the Quran. Then those who leave the Imam-i Zaman, Ali Zaman, are entering the Quran without the door. And what is the punishment according to the Islamic law? Those who enter as a thief into a house, what is the punishment? The punishment according to the Islam, in Islamic law, is to chop off both of his hand. Meaning, the ta'wil behind this punishment is that if you enter like a thief into the Quran without the Ali Zaman, without the door, from the back window or breaking the ceiling, then your punishment would be to cut off the ruh, the nur in the Quran. You will not be able to understand the tanzil and cut off the intellect, the wisdom, the ta'wil of the Quran, and you will never understand the batin of the Quran. And what is the proof of that? If without the Imam, understanding Quran was possible, then Muslim would not be divided into over 70 different branches or sects, tariqas. They have no issue in understanding who Allah is. They have no issue accepting who Rasul is. And some have no issue in accepting who Ali is. That was never the problem. But not understanding the Quran due to not having the door, the speaking Quran, the living Imam, when they started to make their own interpretation, understanding of the book which came with the Rasul-e-Khuda and the Ta'wil and the Nur and the command of the speaking book was given to the Ali Murtaza, and after him, as promise of Allah, his progeny, In one place, over 100 years ago, our 40th Imam, Imam Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah Salawatullah Alaihi, may our soul be sacrificed to the Imam, said, only if all of the Muslim, the reader of the Quran, would agree on one ayat, that is Ayah Nur and the concept of Nuran ala Nur, only if they would agree on this one ayat and one phrase, Nuran ala Nur, then they will not be divided. You see that? How important it was. It was the Quran and its understanding without the Imam that splitted the Islam from the day one. And again and again and again and again. It is the Noor-e Khudawandi, the Imam-e-Zaman, Ali-e-Zaman, who have the interpretation of the Quran. And Allah has promised, I will protect this Noor and I will complete this Noor, regardless of how much the Kafirin, the disbelievers, dislike. Because those who do not believe in the Imam and the Imamat, the guide and the guidance and the promise of Allah, are the one who would say, we don't need Imam. In other words, they do not follow the command of the Rasul-e-Khuda, and therefore, I don't know how can they call themselves Muslim. And then, when you don't accept the command of the Rasul, then you cannot obey Allah. Unless you say, God forbid, I am myself a Rasul and I am myself an Imam, and therefore I can receive my command, guidance directly from Allah, and I don't need anyone. And then even then, you are falsely claiming to be something you are not, and therefore you cannot call yourself a Muslim. Because Muslim literally means one who submit to the will of God. And the will of God is to guide you. And will of God is to send you a guidance. And the will of God is for you to follow the Rasul and the Ulil Amra Minkum. Today, Imam, Imamat, and Islam has manifested itself with the Shah Rahim al-Husseini Hazar Imam. I believe we are living in such a time which we only had heard of, that there will be time when Zawurat of the Imam will happen. Zawurat upon Zawurat. Started with the 40th Imam, and Shah Karim took it to the next level, and Shah Rahim in a short time, less than 6 weeks, have truly taken to the next level, where he is giving the Faramin, the Satnashini, openly on the world stage. He is not holding back. He is inviting and asking you to welcome those who want to know about us, those who want to recognize the Imam within our tariqah and outside our tariqah. Those who would like to recognize the Imam, then this platform is open. As a little soldier, we are part of this journey. Under the feet of the Imam-e-Zaman, under the command of the Imam-e-Zaman, we are the steward, the ambassador, and the Dai, the spokesperson. And Imam Shah Karim have said one time, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Through you, the Noor will be given to others. It is us who would give Noor to others. Not me, not I, us. Today, Imamat and Islam has manifested. This is the true Islam, where Imam is living. This is the true Islam, where Imam is working for the humanity. This is the true Islam, where Imam comes out and say, to rebuild an Islamic country, I, meaning the Imamat, will donate 100 million pound minimum. Meaning, if they need more, then I will give more. Show me a single person in the world, a single person in the world who's working for humanity as our Imam-e-Zaman. AKTN, AKF. There is no one who's working for the humanity like Imam-e-Zaman. Manifestation after manifestation. The true Islam has shown its face in the face of the Imam-e-Zaman. That is the true face of Islam. Where are those who claim to be the guide of the Islam? Where are they? How come they are not helping rebuild? They are definitely helping in destruction of the Islamic country, but where are they in rebuilding? We saw that. And what was the Farman yesterday? By the way, Nowruz Mubarak to all the friends, brother and sister online. May this day bring you a new understanding, the new recognition into the Imam and the Tariqah and our religion, the Islam and the Qur'an. May this new day shed Nurani light upon your heart and the mind to understand what we have been given and what is our responsibility in recognizing the Imam and how through you others will come into this light. And we were talking about the Farman. What was the Farman of the Imam-i Zaman? He is coming with great changes according to the time and the place. That is what Imam do. Whereas in the Shariat is static. You cannot change anything. Tariqat teaches us what are the batin of the Shariat and the batin of the Qur'an and the talimat of Allah. It is the haqiqat where you understand that Islam is a dynamic religion, and it is dynamic religion because we have a living Imam who can guide and change things according to the time, as per need. And that was the Farman yesterday, that I will make changes. And what was the first instant change Imam-i Zaman have made? Where on the day one, he commanded the institution to provide the Farman in writing, in print to the Jamaat. How can we follow the Farman if we don't have the Farman? And what did he say yesterday? I'm making, or I have made the changes to the constitution. Make it available to the Jamaat so they know what changes are coming. So we can prepare ourselves spiritually and intellectually. Otherwise, we will be left blindly. Have you ever seen anything like this before? I have never seen anything like this before. Where Imam by force, by the command, by the Farman is forcing on two sides. One, the force is on the institution. And the second, it is on you, my friend. Because now you have no excuse. I did not have the Farman. I did not know this was my Farman to follow. And I did not know what constitution have changed. I did not know. So now the pressure is on you to receive, to read, and to understand, and to follow. And that is our purpose here, to make sure that we are bringing the recognition, the shanasi, the understanding of the Imam to those who wish, those who love the Imam of the time. Then this is for you. Because what you are saying by coming on this channel, that I love my Imam and I love to follow my Imam. I like to understand the Farman and I like to do what my Imam wish and will me to do. And we accept him as our living guide, the fulfilled promise of Allah to the humanity. Those who wish to accept, he is here to guide. Those who do not wish to accept, then may Allah have mercy on their soul. So let me stop here. This chapter will continue. Let me give you a preview what we will be talking about tomorrow. We will be talking about how and where do we find more references of the Imam in the Quran tomorrow. Inshallah, we will meet at 9 o'clock Central Time, that is Dallas time. Thank you for joining. Ji Kamle Sahib.